I'm not sure, but hold on. Let me make sure it's on. And it looks like we're live. Let me welcome everybody back to the First Inning Radio Show. We got a good one for y'all. We keeping the faith. And I had a good trip with Roger, the big Yankee fan. We'll talk about that. And we got Michael Caputo here as well. So we're going to talk about some baseball. So, finally, you think we should get a shirt? You think somebody could make a shirt that says, blame the players? I want a shirt.
No, I think they should get a shirt calling the Yankees. How about bipolar Yankees? I think that's better. Bipolar Yankees.
I'm telling you, they gotta make a shirt that says "Blame the Players" and then on the back says Steinbrenner. That'll be official.
It should say blame. No, it should say blame the organization. That's what we should blame the front office, because they're the ones that put the team on the field, so they should be blamed.
It's true, man. It's sad, man.
I will remember where the Yankees are right now. BX Bomber and I had a very wonderful visit together, and I finally saw Giselle for the first time in 2 years. And we went to we went to the Cleveland Indians series, and the Yankees won on Friday night, 8-0, hitting 5 home runs. It was a fantastic game. And then Saturday, the Yankees really got creamed, 11-3. And then Sunday was the Garrett Cole game, and the Yankees got crushed 11-1. It was embarrassing how badly they played, and I believe Garrett Cole was nursing a hamstring, but Garrett Cole said that he did everything properly and he prepared properly and he was feeling confident for the game. So obviously the results were not there, and the Yankees got embarrassed on Sunday, 11-1. But this finally won yesterday, 4-3 over a very bad Texas Rangers team. And
thank God they won.
Yeah, man.
The Yankees are a half game out of the second wild card at this point, and the Yankees' destiny is still in their own hands because they finished up the season with Tampa Bay, Boston, and Toronto. So it's in their hands, but it's just a matter of which Yankee team is going to show up.
Yeah.
And I don't care nursing a hamstring or not. Garrett Cole had to step up his A game Sunday, and he didn't. I mean, that's why you pay this guy $36 million a year to pitch like a true ace, and to do that, I mean, it's just embarrassing. I mean, it's like you lose any hope for them after that. I mean, like pitching a horrible game like that. I mean, he should have pitched like an ace should pitch. I mean, he was just horrible. But you got to just turn the page and just now they have to win this series. They got to sweep the Texas Rangers, and we also thought they were going to do that to the Cleveland Indians, and it didn't happen. And the Baltimore Orioles and the Mets, and they lost to all those teams. So this is why this is why they're in the position that they're in, because they don't beat up on bad teams. And it seems like when the Yankees play horrible teams, they play down to the competition. They just don't. I mean, they play down to their competition. They can't beat horrible teams. I mean, this is a really easy schedule for them, and they didn't beat any of these teams.
It's true, man.
As a matter of fact, the Yankees are 11-8 against Baltimore. The rest of the American League East is 31-10 against Baltimore. So the Yankees have 2 losses against Baltimore, as the rest of the American League East has combined.
I don't know what it is with this team. Not only that, they're terrible against the American League East, the Yankees. They haven't beaten anybody in the American League East. So if this didn't end in a tie, the Yankees would miss the playoffs because they don't own the tiebreaker. So they have to finish ahead of the Blue Jays, at least with 91 wins. That'll get them in the second wild card. I think for the first wild card, they need 93 wins. So their best bet is the second wild card. So they have to
think about how they had, after the 13-game winning streak, they've been 7 wins and 15 losses after the first, and lost 12 in the next 14, and rebounded to be 7-15 after having a 13-game winning streak. And at that point, at the 13-game winning streak, they were up in the first wild card by 6 games from the team that was out of the wild card. And they have really played poorly. And but what I do have to say is John Carlos Stanton and Aaron Judge have been there all year.
Yeah, they were healthy.
True.
I mean, those are their two, lifesavers.
And you know something? You know something? As I was sitting with Roger at the game, I'm saying, look, Roger, look at these guys, how many hits they have in the year. They all have 140, 120, something, you know, something like that. Like, that's a pretty good number. I mean, it's not great, but awesome is like above 150 hits a year, you know?
I was going to say that the Yankees have to go exactly 9-2 to make the playoffs. So they have to win 9. They have to sweep Texas, sweep Toronto, and take at least 2 out of 3 Boston to get a wild card. That's about it. Yeah, they have to sweep because otherwise they're not going to make it. So yeah, I mean, do the math. They have to go at least 9-2. They can't lose any more than 2 games.
One other thing in the Sunday game, after. You know, the deal with the Yankees, except for the patsies of the Minnesota Twins that they got behind 5-0, once they get a gut puncher, once they get hits, they're taken right out of their game. They don't come back at all. As a matter of fact, on the Sunday game, after they fell behind 11-1, 8 of the last 9 Yankee batters struck out in the game.
You just don't know what team's going to show up, and it seems like once they're behind in the game, they don't come back. They just easily like go down without fighting, and they show that they're completely dead, and they can't do that the next 10 games, 11 games yet, because if that happens, the season's over, and it could end in a eyeball. I mean, it could end in a blink. I mean, it could just end just like that. Like they can't lose this series. This has to be a sweep. It has to be a sweep.
Aaron Boone, you know, people get annoyed with Aaron Boone. I don't like. I was watching a little bit of Moose and Nagy. And they were saying they don't understand the fans that are rooting for the Yankees to not make the playoffs because
I want them to make it.
That you know, if they don't make the playoffs, that there'll be sweeping changes coming, and that's not necessarily the case. Aaron Boone is Cashman Tire, and they're very patient. And these sweeping changes might not happen even if they don't make the playoffs.
Well, I want them to make it, but by them making it, they're not going to make any changes, though, next year. I mean, I don't think they're going to really make changes anyways, but you have to make a lot of changes next year. You can't bring back Aaron Boone. You know Brian Cashman's not going to go anywhere, but he should. They have to fire Marcus Sims. They need a whole new coaching staff. They need new players. If you're going to continue to keep throwing at the same team out every year, you're going to go nowhere. And now the Yankees possibly might not get into the playoffs this year. I mean, this team goes from making it every year, losing in the first round. Now you're going to miss the playoffs. I mean, are you going to be okay with the Yankees not making the playoffs 2 years in a row? You're going to be fine with that?
The chances have dropped.
I don't know, man. Shout out to Henry on the check-in, man.
When George was the owner, you know, it was if they did not win the World Series, it was a failure. But now with Al, you know,
I know, but this team was on the brink of a World Series. I mean, how do you go from building a championship caliber team? Their window was a 5-year window. Now it goes from all the way to that to no World Series. Of course, they get obviously like they lay an egg like always the Yankees, and now they go from that to now not being a playoff team every year. I mean, this is what we're going to sell on. This is why I told you take their payroll away, and they're the Baltimore Orioles. I'm telling you, take that payroll away. Take the payroll away from them. And this team is nothing but a last place team. They're only a great team because they have the high payroll. But take them away, and they're the Colorado Rockies.
They have too much money not to be able to buy a World Series. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, but they don't want to go over the luxury tax and you know the sob story of it all.
Well, I'm tired of the luxury tax thing. They better not use that as an excuse next year, because if they don't spend money next year and try to do what they did in 2009, then they're not going to ever win a World Series ever again. If we don't see major changes, we don't see them change their approach and do that stuff, then this team will just be nothing but a team that's going to miss the playoffs once again. And people are going to accept this and just be okay with this team being an underachieving team for the rest of their career, because I don't think anyone's going to deal with that. And also, they're going to lose fans. They didn't even get sellouts this year. If you watch Yankee games, they didn't even sell out a lot of games.
It's bad.
So I think fans
It's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, if you start to notice now, the fans are not supporting this team anymore. They're not coming to the ballpark. They're not selling at games 56,000 people.
It's true, man.
They're getting what, like maybe 32,000 people? That's not...
We were there Michael. We were there. The Experiment and I were there for the Cleveland series, and I just wanted to tell this little story, and I feel a little guilty about it. Saturday was Don Mattingly bobblehead day, and DX Bomber got in line at 10 o'clock in the morning and stood in that sun on the line for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I sat out by my tree in the park and hung out for a while, and then I went in around 12:30 in the afternoon. The game was at 1, and I still got a bobblehead. So, I mean, the crowd was about 34,000 for Saturday.
That's not really. I mean, that's not a Yankee Stadium crowd.
No.
It should have at least 45 to 48,000 people. I mean, you mean to tell me 32,000 people? Goes to show you that they don't like the Yankees. I guess these fans are starting to see that this team sucks.
I mean, then again, exactly.
A lot of the year. They stopped for a lot of the year. There's COVID.
Yeah.
And
nobody wants to watch them this year. They're embarrassing. Despite the 13-game winning streak, they've been nothing but just up and down, and they're boring to watch. And maybe the fans really think that this team isn't going to make the playoffs, so they're not coming to watch the games.
They're only going to go, and plus, right? Who wants to travel all the way out of wherever they're coming from to go see this team? You know what I mean?
They had a horrible season, man. It was a terrible season to watch. I had it like witness this nightmare for 6 months. Thank God it's all over with. If they do get into the playoffs, they get in, but don't expect this team to go on a run when they get into the playoffs.
It's a possibility that they could still make it with the schedule that they have, man. It's not over till it's over, like Yogi said, man.
It's not over till it's over, but it's not looking good for their chances to win a World Series this year, if that's what you think. I mean, they're going to just be one and done. They'll lose the wild card game. I mean, that's all that's going to happen. Don't expect this team to go on a big run.
It's bad, though.
And they play Toronto, Boston, and Tampa. The schedule is not in their favor. The only schedule that's in their favor now is Texas Rangers. They're playing Toronto, Boston, and Tampa. Those teams could whip their ass and knock them right out of it.
Yeah, they have their destiny. The destiny is in their own hands.
Yeah.
It depends on how they play.
I mean, you expect this team to sweep the Red Sox in Fenway? I don't expect that. I'm going to just be real with you. I want them to sweep it, but me wanting them to sweep and me wanting the team to sweep and them doing is another thing. Are they going to do it? That's the question. I don't think so.
You just being realistic.
Yeah. I want them to sweep, but do I have any trust in this team? Hell no. If you put a gun to that team's head, they wouldn't be able to win games.
It's true, man.
What I do, as I say, is one game at a time. You don't know who's showing up. I mean, they went ahead of Texas yesterday 4-0, and then of course
Texas. Yeah. By the way, they won in a tight game again. They almost blew that game last night. They're lucky they won 4-3. Almost blew it. It seems like the wheels were about to come off in that game too, and they miraculously held on by a miracle. They almost could have blew that game, but they won. So they have to just sweep. And then the next series is going to be a very crucial series for them with the Red Sox.
It is crazy right now. It's crazy, man, because, look, the Yankees are only half a game behind, man. So it's like this could all change in 24 hours. You know what I mean?
Well, they could be back up a half a game, but, can they get a 2-game or 3-game lead in the wild card? Is that going to be it seems like they can't do that.
That's what we need.
Why can't they get at least a 2-game lead?
That's what we need, man. We need a little lead.
How are they getting a lead?
To go in. You definitely do.
Because I'm sick of this back and forth nonsense. They're in the playoffs, they're not in the playoffs. One day they're in, the next day they're out. One day they're in, the next day they're out. It seems like every day it's like a annual thing for this team. They're in it and they're out. Can't they get a 2 or 3 game lead? I mean, would that be the worst thing ever? It seems like, God forbid, they get a 3-game lead in the wild card. They're so stagnant, this team, and they're so up and down that every day is like a new thing for them. They're just not a consistent team. They're too inconsistent. They're up and down, and it's driving people out of their minds. They can't take it.
It is, man. It's like, wow, man. We had a great thing going, but now, and the main, what the mains are? I forgot where I saw it. There was a stat. They hit 200 something runs already, and 58 of those were home runs or something like that put together. And those 58 home runs were all solo shots or something like that. I was like, wow, look at all those home runs that we lost out that weren't clutch. You know what I'm saying? That hurts the Yankees too, man. When they always excuse me. When they play a good team, they don't do anything. When they play a whack team, they hit all these home runs that don't mean anything. You know?
Well, they don't beat bad teams either. I mean, we just went through this. They didn't beat the Orioles.
Yeah, it's true. They didn't beat
They didn't beat Cleveland. They didn't beat Texas. What are you talking about? They played down to their competition. They lost to every single bad team that they played. Why is it?
They did a good job against the White Sox and the Astros.
Yeah, I know they played. I'm talking about bad teams, though. What bad team did you see them, sweep out? They got swept by the Tigers early in the season. The Orioles embarrassed them throughout the whole entire season. They got 8 wins off of them, which is embarrassing. They lost to the Mets 2 out of 3. They lost to the Angels 2 out of 3. They lost to the who else did they lose to that they got back? Oh, Cleveland beat them. So what team could you say that they a mediocre team that they were expected to beat?
It's hard, man. They had trouble against almost every team. Every team has given them trouble in the whole season.
That's why they're just not as good as advertised. A playoff team doesn't play down to their competition. You're supposed to beat those teams. It's okay if you lose to them once in a while, but not to lose to them over and over and over again. That's how you get knocked out of the playoffs. It's okay if you give
my analysis in the Yankee season so far. Here's my analysis. The team has been schizophrenic. When they look fantastic, they look fantastic. And they had that stretch where they were 35-11 for a 45-game stretch. When they look bad, they look really bad. And they've had extreme ups and downs, which have made it unenjoyable. They have underachieved offensively for the most part. And they are 84 wins and 67 losses, so they're on pace to win around 90, 91 games. And there was so much more was expected of them. They were expected to be a 100-win team that was a favorite to go to the World Series. So they have played down to expectations.
Yeah, very true. They also didn't make any great moves in the offseason. They had a dreadful offseason last year. After signing Garrett Cole, that's their counterpunch to their offseason. That's who they get. The next year, Corey Kluber, Tyone, awful, dreadful offseason. I think we could have expected them to not really have a good season with the offseason moves that they've made. The only reason why the Yankees get into the playoffs every year is because they hit home runs. I think everyone should know that.
They took a lot of risks taking guys, that are coming off Tommy John surgery.
They shouldn't have done that. They have enough injury-prone guys on this team. We didn't need any more of those guys. They added 3 guys to the team that all were injury-prone, and they, by the way, all were on the injury list this year. So it was really stupid to invest in guys like that, which you knew you weren't going to get nothing out of. Why did the Yankees go out and try to trade for Luis Castillo? Why didn't they sign Matt Scherzer? Well, why did they do things like that? I mean, they never want to go for a championship, and they never go the extra mile. And if the Yankees continue to do this, they will never win a World Series. I could bet my house on that. They'll never win a World Series.
They gotta get power pitching, man. I mean, it's true. They can't. Yeah. They can't.
They have no relief pitching. Their bullpen is by far the worst in all of baseball. Look at the stats. Their bullpen has to be probably ranked 29th. It's a horrible, dreadful, godforsaken, horrible bullpen. And their rotation...
Are you really trusting that bullpen now? Who's really, since he came from Pittsburgh, Craig Holmes has done a leather.
Yeah, that's about it. And their rotation isn't good either. I don't trust anybody in this rotation outside of Cole. And he didn't even pitch good. Now, who do you trust? Nestor Cortez? That's about the only guy that you could probably trust.
Yeah, he's going to have to pitch that wild card game.
No score for Montgomery, though.
Well, he gets no run support. Every single time he pitches, they don't score enough runs for him, and he loses every game. He better get a lot of run support today, because if he doesn't, then they're in trouble.
You heard, but if it comes down to that wild card game, Nestor Cortez is going to have to pitch it.
Possibly, if Garrett Cole pitches the final regular season game, then he's going to pitch. Cortez is pitching that wild card game. It depends how they're set up. If they're set up where he's going to pitch, he's going to pitch.
Playoffs that will start early for the Yankees because they are playing Boston, they're playing Toronto, and Tampa Bay. So
remember,
Garrett Cole has 2 more starts. He's going to pitch against Boston this Friday, and then he pitches against Toronto on Wednesday, I believe. So you better, if he doesn't pitch good these next 2 starts, I'm sorry, this guy was not worth the money. This guy is nothing but like a number 3 starter. I'm not like all these other Yankee fans putting him in the doghouse, booing him. I heard he got booed off the mound.
Yeah,
it's terrible. I think he deserved to get booed. In one of the biggest games of the year, you have to be a stopper. You got to be that stopper and stop the bleeding and, put this team into the playoffs. And you didn't do your job.
If you don't go body of work, Michael, the Yankees would not even be where they are right now without Garrett Cole.
They wouldn't, but he didn't step up, and that's a horrible Cleveland offense. I mean, Cleveland doesn't have anybody in their offense. They have all AAA lineup hitters except for Jose Ramirez.
When I was DX Palmer and I were together for those 2 games, and I'm saying, what is Jose Ramirez, about 12 for 12 now?
I'm telling you, he was kicking their butt.
Oh, he's the only one that hits. But that's not no excuse. It's inexcusable. You have to dominate a team like Cleveland. They have nobody in their lineup. Now, what is he going to do against the Red Sox? The guy couldn't even dominate the Indians. How's he going to dominate the Red Sox and dominate the Blue Jays? I mean, if he doesn't pitch good.
You don't know which team is going to show up from night to night.
Yeah, but he's got to pitch great, too. Even they could score 6 runs. What if Garrett Cole doesn't have it? What if he blows a big lead? You don't know. I mean, you really trust this guy? I mean, he could get a big lead, and then he might not even pitch good.
That's what I'm saying, Mike. You don't know what Yankee team is going to show up from night to night.
No, they better show up. They better be the
That's
good Yankees.
Problem,
They're the bad Yankees. They're finished.
So
right, exactly.
And plus, man, let's go Mets. Let's go Mets. Hopefully they could beat Boston, man.
Yeah, I want the Mets to win, but it's going to be tough. If they play in 2 games, I would love to see the Mets sweep the Red Sox. That would be beautiful. I mean, I hate the Mets, but I guess you got to go for them in this series.
Yeah, you gotta hope they win it, man.
Believe it or not, I've heard that the Mets actually want the Red Sox to win because they hate the Yankees so much. They want them out of the playoffs. You never would think that, but the Mets fans are rooting for the Red Sox in this series because they want the Yankees knocked out.
Oh, that's silly. You know, you always root for your team. You know, the Mets are 3 games out of the wild card. They have certainly not been wall beaters. But you root for your team. I can't imagine hating another team so much that you root against them.
And it's New York. Go figure. That's why I can't stand the Mets just for that alone.
Wow, that's crazy.
The team's not going anywhere.
That's crazy that Met fans even think that way, man.
Well, they hate the Yankees and they want them out. They hate the Yankees more than they care about their own team. They just love hating the Yankees. That's like their number one passion. As long as the Yankees lose, that's their World Series for the rest of their life. They're never going to win, so they figure this is our World Series. The Yankees losing every year. That's all they care about.
But you know, sometimes when you play to lose, man, you start playing better and you win. You know what I mean?
There's no chance for the Mets. Maybe because they're not making the playoffs, so they're miserable. So
no, but I'm saying they
just want the Yankees lose.
They could beat the Red Sox trying to lose, and they beat the Red Sox, and they win.
Well, they're like 7 games, 8 games out, so they're finished. But I know what you mean. But all I know is Boston has to, Mets have to sweep the Red Sox, and the Rays have to sweep the Blue Jays. If we get that, I think the Yankees would be up in the wild card by, I think, a game or 2 games. If you get that.
Yeah. Well, first you have to take care of business against this 95-loss Texas team. And then it really starts. They're playing Boston, they're playing Tampa Bay, they're playing Toronto. So the Yankees have their destiny in their own hands, and it depends on who shows up. And, you know, if they're going to stink, then they're out of it. If they can step up to the plate and take care of their own business, then they'll take care of their own business. It's all up to them now.
Yep, we got to get the Yankee team that shows up. Otherwise,
and this guy Chapman, he pitched well yesterday, but you know they have to continue this. You know, maybe he can lead the bullpen somehow.
Yep, you need length out of your starters too. Your starters can't go 4 innings and then get knocked out of the game. You got to have your starters go at least 5 to 6 innings. So,
I wanted to give the Pop-Up Sports a shout out. I really liked he apparently went to. Did you guys hear of the Foo Fighters, who are a veteran rock band?
Yeah.
He went to the concert, and he had some really nice concert footage of the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Oh wow, man! I gotta go check.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, man. But it's about time that they have events like this, but man.
It's probably having a lot of concerts now because of the COVID is, it's non-existent right now, even though it might come back a 3rd wave. But, yeah, it's, a lot of people going to concerts now. So I'm just focused on this. I'm zeroed in on this because I want to see if this team's going to make it or not.
The
Right.
Yankees. This Yankee team is like the 2004 Red Sox team, man. They probably suck and make it all the way, and hopefully they make it to the World Series, man. You never know.
Yeah. But that 2014 made the playoffs, though. They didn't have, like, one of those, like, they're not going to make it scenarios into the playoffs. They made the playoffs. You knew they were going to get in. But this team, you don't know. I mean,
we don't know, man. It's like, my God, man, we should have had this a long time ago if they were winning.
If they were a 4-game lead ahead or a 3-game lead ahead, I would feel definitely a lot more comfortable right now with them making it. But with being half a game out, and the way they play, and you don't know what team's going to show up, you don't know what you're going to get from this team. But changes have to be made anyways next year, despite them making it or not.
Shout out Will Zimmerman on the check-in.
I just want to say this, and then I'm going to have to sign off because I have to do some work.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say that I really enjoyed my visits with BX Bomber this year, and I'll be seeing him next year. And we had a great September trip. And the Yankees have to take care of their own business. And the playoffs start as soon as they play Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Boston, and everything is going good. And I'm afraid I'm going to have to get some work done now. My mom has my nephew over, and she needs some help. So I'm going to sign off for now, and you guys continue to have a good show. And I'll talk to you later, BX Bomber.
All right, cool, man. Talk to you then.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Good talking to you. So we got the series. We got this game tonight. They got to sweep Texas now. So
it's true. I mean, the Yankees have it in their own hands now, man. They just have to win. Yeah. Period. Hit.
Yeah.
And pitch, man.
That's what they had. I mean, that's what they've been doing. I mean, they've been struggling the whole entire season.
My God, now if we go out there today and play horrible, oh man, this is not the day to do it, man. They have to play today. Today they have to win because maybe these other teams.
Period. They have to sweep. Not 2 out of 3. They have to sweep.
Because we have the chance.
Fans, some of these Yankee fans don't get it though. They think that we can afford to lose another game, so we have to sweep every rest of the way. I mean, you have to sweep at least 2 more series. You got to sweep 2 more series. You have to sweep Texas and Toronto. I don't think they're going to. No, wait, Texas and Boston. I don't know if they're going to sweep Toronto, but I don't think they have to sweep Toronto if they sweep the. I'm sorry, I don't think they have to sweep Toronto if they sweep Boston, because if they sweep Boston, then the Yankees would get the top wild card. So they'll be in great position. So all they have to do is take 2 out of 3 with the Blue Jays. So
they have to win every day until they have a lead in the wild card.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
They have to. Today is a must win. Tomorrow is a must win, and until they get that lead. No, I mean not every game. If they get a lead, they can lose a game.
Well,
and
if they get okay, let's just say
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think every game is a must win until the end of the season. But I was going to say, if they have a 2 or 3 game lead going into the Toronto series, then yes. Then all they have to do is take 2 out of 3. That's it. They can afford to lose a game, but not the series.
Right.
They still have to take 2 out of 3. They have to win every single series. Let's put it that way. They have to win every single series until the season's over.
Absolutely. They have to win every series, man. Or try to.
Yeah, they have to. There's 4 series left, right? Toronto, Boston, Tampa, and Texas. They have to win every single series. They can't lose another series. They can't afford to.
And Tampa Bay at Yankee Stadium is last.
Yes, last. They have to go 9-2. I told you their record they only could lose 2 games. In one of those games, they could maybe lose to Toronto 1 game if they're up in the wild card lead. If they have a series like a 2 or 3 game lead, okay, maybe they can afford to lose 1 game, but that's it. And then one of those other games will probably come in Tampa when they play at Yankee Stadium the last 3 games. But by then, you don't care because the Yankees will have probably the wild card wrapped up by then. Hopefully, let's hope.
Yeah, and especially that last series when we played Tampa Bay. They might downplay because they already clinched already. You know what I mean? At that point.
Yeah. You never know. You don't think they're going to try to look to knock the Yankees out of it? That's another thing people are not taking serious. Everyone's like saying they're going to downplay us, but they might put everybody in there and they might want to just embarrass the Yankees. And if the Yankees are still tied for the wild card, then Tampa's going to try to want to knock us out. But hopefully the Yankees have the wild card in their hands.
But that's the thing, though. But that's the thing, though. Every time you downplay the Yankees, right, and they put these scrub players in then all of a sudden, like I always say, these guys start playing like Hall of Fame baseball players against the Yankees. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
all of a sudden, they hit 3 home runs in one game and all kind of crap. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the hell is going on here? Every time, man. You could put anybody against the Yankees and they'll be Hall of Fame playing.
Yeah, well, I know it's this series. They better win this series because this is, I told you, they cannot afford to lose another series or a game. They have to sweep this series. This is a must-sweep. And it was also a must-sweep against Cleveland, and it was a must-sweep against the Orioles. A lot of these games, but this is definitely a sweep that has to happen. And it's a shame because if the Yankees did not lose to all these horrible teams, they would have been up in the wild card right now. And they would have been in probably a playoff. They would be in the playoffs. They would have clinched it already. Would have been over.
Yeah. It's sad, man. I don't know what's going to happen with this team, man.
Yeah. And now it's like one of those things now where it's going to be a nail biter. It's going to be down to the wire. They have to, I told you, this one they might have to sweat it out because they lost too many games.
Yeah, I don't know.
They wouldn't have been here. I mean, they would have been in the playoffs right now. They would have clinched it.
They gotta play, man. They gotta play.
You can't lose to the Orioles. You cannot lose to the Orioles. You can't lose to the Angels. You can't lose to the Mets. You can't lose to Cleveland. You can't. I mean, those all should have been wins. They should have had at least 89 wins right now. At least.
I thought they were gonna make 100, man.
Take all that away. If they didn't blow all those games, this team would have easily had 96, 97 wins, maybe 100. If they didn't lose all those other stupid games early in the season when they were losing all those games when Chapman was blowing all those games. This team would have easily probably coasted to 100 wins if they didn't have all those meltdowns and those horrible losses. But this was this is a 2021 Yankees in a nutshell. I mean, just up and down, totally inconsistent. I don't know how you could deal with it. I hope we don't have this next year. That's all I know. This better not happen next year.
Because, you already know, like we spoke about it earlier, they're going to bring back the same team. So you already know.
Well, they better not, because then it's just going to be another failed season, and they're going to miss the playoffs again. And I tell you this, never have high expectations for this team ever again unless they go out there and buy the World Series. Unless you know they're going to win it, like what they did in 2009. You knew they were going to win it that year. Until then, never have high expectations. I wouldn't even have high expectations if they did that, because you never know with this team. And they had this team to win 100-something games this year and go to the World Series. And remember in the beginning of the season when I was talking to you back in March, they had the Yankees going to the World Series.
Yeah, it's true, man. They did. They were ranked number 1. And I was like, how? When the bullpen is horrible and all that, I was like, there's no way.
No, I was saying how because the rotation was so horrible. I thought the rotation was the main reason.
That too. And look, and I don't know how they did it, man. That's why I say, too, that the playoffs are won in April. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and all these
I don't think
people
are going to have them as a favorite next year. Because I think it's one of those people are not going to be fooled by them now, because they had such high expectations for this team last year and all the other years, and they didn't make it. Now what are you going to do this year? Have them as a World Series favorite again? Unless they go out there and sign Matt Scherzer or trade for Castillo and do all that stuff and sign Corey Seager, this team's not a World Series favorite.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They can, if anybody can win a World Series, it might be those idiots to do it. You know, let's see what happens.
What idiots?
The Yankees. If they make it in.
Aren't a favorite.
Well, if they make it in, they could probably win it all, man. Who knows?
I don't think they're going to win it. They're going to get knocked out of the wild card.
I hope not, man. I really hope. Hopefully they can. It's going to be against Boston if they can knock out Toronto, and then they got to play.
The Yankees have a horrible resume. If whoever they go up against, Toronto or Boston, I don't see this team winning. I'm not getting my hopes up. I expect them to lose in the wild card or just miss the playoffs. That's going to be the ending result. The team that's going to win this year are going to be the Dodgers or the Giants. The Yankees, if they get in, they're going to get knocked out. Well, you think this team's going to make a big run in the playoffs? If they make it, what do you think this team's going to win a World Series? Are you kidding me?
You know what? Never say never, man. It's possible because if you think about
Yeah,
it,
if you're saying you think the Yankees won the World Series, and you've been basically saying that you got the chances of that is being struck by lightning, then.
well, they gotta hit. They gotta hit. If they hitting, if they start hitting and playing, yeah, it's possible, man. They can actually do it. They can.
But how is that possible when they have a horrible rotation and a horrible bullpen?
That's what I'm saying. You don't know. It might come together in this playoff time.
Yeah.
It might change.
Yeah, but you got. I know, but you got Jordan Montgomery and Tyone. They're not great pitches, and Severino just got activated. He's in the bullpen. Garrett Cole sucked the last game. Who's going to be great in the rotation that picked them up? There's nobody.
Well, they're gonna have to figure that out, and we're gonna have to rely on them, and that's it, to see if they get the job done. But it might be possible, man, if they could pull through it, man. But they just, like I said, they have to play. If they don't play, it's not gonna happen. Period.
Well, if they lose this year and then next year, then what are you gonna say? I'm just saying, if they lose this year and next year, then you're gonna admit this team will never win again.
No, I mean, they're gonna put the same team out there. You know, it's not gonna happen again. You know,
yeah.
it's good.
I mean, I could see. I'm just telling you, I could see an outside chance this team never wins ever again. I might not see a World Series ever again. I'm just being honest.
It's possible, man, because what's happening is that these generations of new and old players, like on the team, are crossing each other. You know what I'm saying? And they're getting like, they're just repeating like the laziness. You know what I mean? Like they're just repeating it, and it's like they're embedding it in there now. Like, oh, all you got to do is hit a home run, and that's it. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's no base stealing.
Well, I'll be convinced if the Yankees, if they sweep. Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. But if they sweep Texas, and they sweep Toronto, then Boston. I'm sorry. Then I'll be convinced that this team will be a playoff team. But as far as winning the World Series, that's another story. That's another story for another day.
Wow, that Boston Red Sox game is gonna be crazy in Fenway Park and all that.
Yeah, the Mets. I hope the Mets beat them. We gotta hope and pray. The Mets have a terrible team, but hopefully maybe they could play. Maybe they'll play better against. I don't know. Maybe the Red Sox will just play down to their competition, like the way we always play down to our competition.
Because exactly. Because the Mets are playing Boston and Toronto's playing Tampa Bay, I believe. I think that was.
Yeah, I think. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Tampa Bay is gonna sweep the Blue Jays. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they're gonna sweep them.
Yeah, so that'll bring them down. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, if they get swept, Toronto, and the Yankees sweep the Texas Rangers, then the Yankees will be, I think, 2 games up. I believe. At least a game and a half or 2.
Yeah, maybe 2.5 games, but definitely maybe 2.
But the most, maybe you get maybe a game and a half, 2. Yeah,
right.
They easily could be up there.
Minimum.
But you got to win all your games.
So, you know, and with Boston, maybe if they lose against the Mets, you know, it's all possible. This could change in 24 hours, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be positive. It's just that I know what this Yankee team is made of. I'm expecting everything. I want everything to work out great. It's hard to be positive with a team like this. It's so bipolar.
Sometimes
I know I talk negative. You know, it's hard. It's just not easy.
Sometimes those worst teams play better, and hopefully, you know, we're like. You know those statistics. They say, oh, you know, the worst team always starts playing better, and then they win a World Series. You know, hopefully we're part of that. You know, statistic. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but
and the Yankees better take care of business tonight. That's all I know. They another bum pitcher is on the mound for Texas.
They gotta hit.
They better hit him because they make these horrible pitches look like Cy Young pitches.
Yeah, man, they gotta hit. If they hit, if they only hit, they will win. Period. They will win.
Well, we all know that when they hit, they score. They hit home runs, they win.
You know, they can blow out teams. They could blow out teams, man. But what's their favorite thing to do? Hit into a double play.
Oh, that they do that too much. It's horrible this year with the double plays. Oh my God.
Like,
that's been their Achilles
if you're gonna teach if they're gonna teach a little league team how to turn a double play, just watch every Yankee double play. You just watch that, and you'll learn how to do it. Because they've done it so many times.
So I was going to ask you too. So is that the last game you guys are going? I think that's it, right? For the Yankee regular season games, right? That's it for the season, right?
No, there's one more game. I'm going to the last game of Tampa Bay, October 1st, a Friday.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, next weekend is my birthday, October 2nd. So.
Oh man,
so, yeah,
God bless you, man. Happy birthday.
So I guess you go. Yeah, that's next Saturday. Well, yeah, I think it's Friday or Saturday. It's Saturday, yeah. So yeah, I guess the last game you're going to is on Friday. So yeah, have fun that last game. Hopefully the Yankees clinched by then.
God, it's gonna be man, nail biters, man. I don't think Yankee fans have no more nails. I think Yankee fans is all out of medication and all that, man, behind this team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
God, this was the worst Yankee team I ever watched of all my years. I mean, they've had some bad years. I mean, they didn't make it in 2013, 2014, 2008.
Nah, never this bad. I never been through this. Well, I don't think we never been through something like this. This guy's, I mean, you're expecting A, and you're getting B. Like, what is you know what I mean? It's like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know, that's never really happened in reality. Majority of the old Yankee teams, if they got a player, they just got hurt and you never saw them again, type of thing. You know, these guys, they're actually playing and they can't do anything. You know, so man, I don't know, man. I guess. Well, anyway, I guess we said it all, man. We can end it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We about said everything. So great show, and let's sweep this Texas Rangers.
Yeah, man. We'll be back next Friday, man, at 5.
And hopefully by Friday we can be saying positive things that we're up in the wild card, and yep. So let's do it. Well,
we could be in the running by then. Hopefully they hit, man. That's all they need to do.
You know, just all positive, vibes. So
yeah, man. So anyway, man, I'm gonna sign out of here. I'm gonna thank everybody for watching. Shout out to Will Zimmerman, and shout out to Henry on the check-in. And yeah, man, like you said, they did wait too long to move Torres to second. Well, you gotta understand that move is because DJ was hurt. He had that torn thing under his armpit, and he couldn't throw the ball hard. That's why you saw him couldn't make no double plays, or he couldn't whip the ball in a double play. So now he looks like he's healthier and feels better. Now he's playing third base. That's why you don't see Rougned Odor no more. You know, but like you say, refuse to lose, man. But it's still possible. This could all change in 24 hours, man. And we'll be in like Flint. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, man, I'm out of here. I'm going to see y'all later. Stay tuned for some vlogs coming out. And I've been lazy on them. But I'm going to bring them out soon. But so long, everybody. And see you in the next one. See ya.